we needed to help our franchisees with a better understanding. So for a year of my life, we dedicated to curriculum development, filming, quiz writing, re-recording, editing, and tried to bring a really polished product to the table so that way when you do hire, people understand they're buying into a well-polished Gucci system.
Chamberlynn, what's up?
Hello, happy to be back.
Back in the Beats lab.
Yeah.
Did you see Step Brothers?
Yes.
You're like, duh. I know. If you wouldn't have, I would have been really disappointed based on knowing you.
There's so much room for activities.
Exactly. Hey, Dad, can we do bump goods? Dale, is that power tools? He's like, no, it's my toothbrush. Doesn't sound like a toothbrush. Anyway, we could probably do that all day. But yeah, so you've been busy lately, huh?
Yeah,
Glad
exciting.
to have you back.
Yes.
Yeah, baby on the way. So one little one who's awesome and bun in the oven and
Yes.
still gets more stuff done than anybody I've ever met. I do not see how you do it, but
Thanks.
again, I'm more impressed with you every year or day that goes by. So speaking of, one of the things that we're going to talk about today is something that was a big project of yours that took some time, and it was very in depth. And when it came out, I was very impressed. But before we do that, do you have a dad joke?
I do.
Fire away.
Why was the Scarecrow promoted?
I don't know.
Because he was outstanding in his field.
That's actually really good. You tell it so well. You have such a great joke telling voice. It's very calming. So this one is from Jennifer Gringa, who is a franchisee. And I've been sitting on it for a while. I was just going through my emails. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about this one. What do you call twin cops?
I don't know.
Copies. You like that?
Yes.
Shout out to Jennifer. I hope you're listening. All right, well, let's get down to it. So we built what we call an LMS, which is an acronym for Learning Management System, right? So since you ran point on the project, I'm going to ask you questions, and then we'll just have a discussion. What you say?
Sounds great.
What is it? Like, what is our LMS or an LMS in general?
So the learning management system is a set of modules. Each one is an hour or less. There are video learnings that go deep into Alloy. And then at the end of each module, there's a quiz to make sure the learner is retaining really important points. Companies use an LMS to make sure that the employees are educated, commonly used in anything involving HIPAA because those rules change all the time. But it just helps keep everybody in a system on a standard operating and standard understanding of what it is they're doing and how it should be done.
So I know originally I think I called it a course, and you were like, no, we don't call it that. So what do we call it?
So we call it the Alloy LMS, and there are modules within it. The word course, when it comes to personal training, could be confused with continuing education hours for your personal training certification. So we wanted to just make sure that we kept ourselves away from any confusion around that. This is just for Alloy. This just prepares you to work here. It's not going into anything that like ACE would provide.
Right. Yeah. And it's different. I think there's because, I sat on the board for ACE. So there are nationally accredited personal certification bodies. That's a different thing, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of hoops you got to jump through to get that. And then there's educational components that will apply continuing education credits to your national cert. We could probably, and I'm just thinking it out loud, I mean, this is how the podcast goes, right? We just tell it like it is. We could probably get this course accredited, and then people could get points. So that would probably be a next step, and I've got plenty of contacts. So it just launched. We've been running around like crazy, but that's something I'll look into. So that's what it is. And why did we build it? Like, what's the purpose of it for Alloy?
Wow. Why did we build it? We needed it. There is no other boutique fitness franchise doing what we're doing. There are very few gyms successfully doing what we're doing. So the concept, while personal training is well known, small group and the delivery of customer service we do isn't well known. And it's difficult for an owner to hire someone when they don't have a 200% understanding of what it is they're doing.
Right.
So this will help owners dive deep into understanding, hiring the right person, and then bringing that person on board to understand and fully grasp what's happening. It hits you fast. You open quickly. There's technology, there's people, there's leads. So having a foundation of understanding what the end looks like will help you navigate all the difficulties of pre-sale, or if you're fully open to hiring someone new, bringing them on board and helping them see the big picture of what it is. So we needed to help our franchisees with a better understanding. So for a year of my life, we dedicated to curriculum development, filming, quiz writing, re-recording, editing, and tried to bring a really polished product to the table. So that way, when you do hire, people understand they're buying into a well-polished Gucci system. We are not Target.
Facts. Well, yeah, and I really appreciate even the brain science that went into how you laid it out, because if you're just reading content only, that gets really stale and it's hard to process all of that, right? If you're just watching video, also, right? But it does a great job bouncing between video and text, and then showing graphics, and so like all the parts of your brain, hearing, listening, or listening, seeing, doing, they all kind of like are touched, and we know that people learn in different ways. So it's really nice that all those are there.
We have printouts for certain modules that you can follow along for tactile learning as well. We really wanted to make sure that every learner was addressed, because we're dealing with an intelligent group of people. You don't just get a personal training certification because you can't do anything else.
Right.
You have to understand the human body. You have to understand mechanics. And so we wanted to make sure that we addressed all learning types so that we could speak to people who are intelligent and learn in different ways.
Right. And I have a story that we were talking about pre-podcast where we have somebody here who was hired by an Alloy owner, and they, again, it's like they know the business, they explained it, but he was still a little bit like, okay, because it's easy to explain to the consumer. We do personal training. That's it. They don't care how we do it. They don't care if there's other people in there. It just turns out like having other people makes it more sticky, more fun, and less expensive. Great. But to someone who's going to be sitting in that seat, so we have an Alloy owner who's describing, we have the job description, all that stuff is nailed, but it's more like, what is it exactly that we do, right? And so the owner explained it, and he was kind of like, yeah, I think I get it. And then he took the LMS, and he was like, oh, yeah, as soon as I took that, I was like, oh, I totally get it. I'm sold, right? So that's just a small example, and obviously early innings, but it's an example of someone taking the LMS and getting full clarity on who we are, where we come from, everything from the technical side of the program to sales techniques to customer care, all the things that we are trying to promote as best we can. So, yeah, I love it. How do we use it? Like, what are the real case uses for us in Alloy?
So in order to attend in-person training at headquarters, you have to complete all modules prior to attending. I can see your reports. I know what you made. And we encourage every owner in our system to take it. Eventually, it might become a requirement, but ideally the owner will take it, see the value, and then when it comes to hiring after in-person training, as your studio is maturing, you will use it to onboard all new employees. There are 2 tracks of learning within. There's one just for coaches, so those you hire to just run your floor, nothing more. And then you have it for directors and assistant directors, people who will be leaning in more to the sales and marketing, team management. There's a second track that you add on for them. So we really tried to break it down and make it digestible for both groups. Again, each module is less than an hour. So you can get up, stretch your legs, move around.
Right, yeah.
But really, right now, it's required to attend in-person training. And we had a 95% adherence rate. And then all the employees did. The owners who weren't able to finish, I actually watched them finishing this morning.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that they could be all caught up. So it's going well. And people were very kind when they met with me about it, because you see my face for a lot of it.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Your moneymaker, as we say. But those are the 2 use cases then, right? It's like before you come to training, so you have a deeper understanding. So when you get here, a lot of the where we come from and whys, it gets reinforced when you're here. It's not redundant, but it gets reinforced. And then also, and I think this is why at least we started to say, hey, we need this course, if you will, these modules, sorry. She's like, not a course. Was because, if people have turnover, and let's say it's part-time coaches, they're not going to stay in your business forever. And so when they leave, how do you get them up to speed? If you have 3 locations, you probably can't sit in their hip pocket for as many days as you would like to. So it's just a ton of bandwidth and a lot more buy-in. especially for the programming and the way we do it and all the customer service, the 7 core tenets, all the things, right, that really make it come to life are key. And there's tons of videos. I mean, a lot of people will like, hey, can we see a session running? It's like there's videos of us actually coaching a session and how that works. So yeah, very, very detailed in that regard.
It's really detailed. Our course writer was incredible. Her name's Lindsay, and she really understood. She went through the entire operations manual, brought back a course, and she goes, is this on par? There were a couple edits, and we realized, wow, we need to update guides. Let's go after it. But for the most part, the secret sauce of Alloy hasn't changed, and it's delivered with visual pops and audio. So I'm so proud of it. The training session video was definitely our longest and most difficult to film, but I think it's the most important because people get overwhelmed having 6 humans stand in front of them.
If you've never done that, we've been doing it since, I mean, one-on-one training from 92 to 2000 till now, training people in a small group setting. So it's like, we're really used to it, but it's nuanced, right? It takes a little bit of time. It doesn't take long if you're a good coach to get the hang of it. But if you come from a class-based concept background, like you coached at an Orange Theory, or you came from a one-on-one training background, it's kind of a blend of the two. And that's what makes it special, right? It's like specificity of personal training at a good value proposition with all the sociability of like a class-based concept, right? So it's really the sweet spot in the middle, and nobody's really doing it. Even though we've been doing it at volume, no one else is doing it. So it's really nice for them to see, oh, okay, got it. That's how I train 6 people and make it specific, right? And the softwares and everything that are involved. What is special or unique about our LMS? Do you think you built it like single user? Like,
okay, so to toot my own horn,
please.
When we met with the LMS developers, they wanted us to pay like $25,000 to meet with them and come up with curriculum. And they said, you know, it's more difficult than most people anticipate. We didn't have funding like that at the time. And so we were like, we're going to do this grassroots. And once we put it all together and we put it in order and we had really beautiful graphics designed by Kip Designs, Alicia, the developers actually came to us and said, we've never seen something so well made.
Good job.
So I think what we have is we put an extreme amount of organization and thought into this. We didn't say it's got to happen, do it. We said it's got to happen. Here's the timeline. And we actually had to delay probably 2 months longer than we wanted to, but we had to make sure that each edit was done, and we wanted to make sure that the content was on point, and we wanted to make sure that you did hear from more than just me. So we had Matt and Adam involved, and we pulled in local franchise owners and employees to help us film certain parts of it. So you got to see different types of people, different ages, understanding programming. So I think we've put a lot, what makes it special, we put a lot of effort in, and the effort was guided by people who truly love the brand. And so it was more than just a check off the list. Okay, this is done. We train them. It's we want you to succeed. If you don't succeed, I don't succeed. And so we put a lot of passion into it. And then I'm just hyper organized and really like fine details done. And so Alicia delivered really stunning graphics that just kind of solidified and beautified the whole thing. And so we're special because we're awesome.
I mean, what makes it awesome is that we're awesome. But no, it's what was interesting for me is it was, you know, there's a million things going on in our business, and you have many more responsibilities, and just took this on because you're so organized. And from my perspective, it almost was like running in the background. You would just pop in and at our leadership meetings and be like, hey, here's the update on the LMS. And all of a sudden one day, I mean, a year later, you know, and I can't imagine the Herculean amount of work. Obviously, I did some filming for it, which you made like super organized, super easy. It's like film this, do this, click here, say something, click. I mean, piece of cake, right? So props to you for keeping it organized. And it did turn out really awesome. So I'm glad we have it. I mean, I wanted to talk about it because I think it's just an example of us putting tools together, tech tools, whatever you want to call them, education around, you know, what it is that we do, because it's really important that it's done well. You know, as you know, I'm putting together a talk for a conference, and I was, you know, battling and batting around this idea of like just care in general. And like, we have so many systems that are soft systems. I say soft because it's not a software or this or that. It's a system based on the delivery of a product, but it's really care, right? It's like, you can systemize care in a lot of ways. And so the one thing I like about the LMS is we get to talk about that too, because the science turns out it's just almost algorithmic, right? It's like if this, then that. If somebody moves this way, they haven't worked out in this long, stability level client, do's and don'ts, right? Easy. Like that turns out to be not the hardest thing that we teach. I mean, you can't really teach care. You better be wired that way. But there is a structure there for care. And as an example, not to get too far off topic, but in one of our great success story videos that we'll be showing at conference, there's a mention of like a text message, which is part of the job description of coaches. They do it in the last 30 minutes, right? They have padding on front and back of their schedule to do these things. And it was mentioned in one or two of those videos, like, I worked out and then I got a text message from my coach saying, hey, you did a great job. Of course, I'm like fist pumping as I hear it because I know it's a system, but it is still care, right? And then this individual said, look, if somebody else is going to go to bat for me, I might as well go to bat for myself. Like, we're in this together. Let's go. I was like, man, I love that. So that's why something like an LMS to teach not just the nuts and bolts, which are, yes, they're important, but maybe as, if not more important, once you get the basics down, is all the care and stuff around it. So to be able to communicate our backstory, our history, our passion in a lot of ways, I think is going to really help us a lot. And anyway, just props to you and the whole team that you worked with. You guys did an amazing job. I think it's great. And so I think it's really going to move the needle.
I hope so. We will find out. This was our first training that it was required. And like I said, it was great feedback. I think we'll know after training week from Matt, like just the baseline that they already knew stepping into the situation.
Right. Were they better prepared, essentially?
Yeah. You hear something, you see something, and then you actually get to come here and put your hands on it and do it yourself. It's so much simpler than hearing, seeing, and then 5 minutes later doing. It gave them time to resonate on it, which is what I love because that's my style of learning. So really, I focused a lot on the customer service of it. And then we focused a lot on the science because, again, personal trainers, highly intelligent, highly educated, but Alloy does.
Well, you have to get the buy-in. They have to know, like, hey, is this programming just like throw it against the wall and hope it sticks? Or is there some science behind this, right?
Exactly.
So once you get that and you get that buy-in, then it becomes about the soft stuff.
So they understand where we're coming from and why we come from that place. Mm-hmm. It makes it easier to totally buy in and then deliver the customer service that goes on top of it. So those text messages, it's like, wow, like, you know what? I know that I programmed this person in total body. I know that I took care of them. Like, let me just check on them. Yeah. Let me cheer them on, see what they're doing. And so very exciting. I'm very proud of it. I am very glad that it's published. We're on to the next.
Yeah, likewise. Well, a year in the making. So anyway, if you guys are with Alloy, make sure that that you have your folks take it. If you're an owner, take it. If you're not with Alloy, sorry.
Yeah. Buy a franchise.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, sorry. Anyway, appreciate you.
Of course. Thank you.
All right. Cheers.